I had the wrong one. All right. Now it's working. Hello, everybody. Welcome to, I am your host, Al, and welcome to Book of the Dead's art studio. I am hosting a painting stream tonight. It should be finishing up this kill team commission finally. Just got to do some basing, and we'll get that taken care of. Hope everybody's having a good evening. So I'm going to grab some paints and we're going to get started on that. Let's see. I'm going to... All right. So I wanted to do like a green, like brown boggish, like color. So I'm going to grab some greens and a brown. We're going to play around with that. Let's see. Here we go. I need some grays because we're going to be painting some rocks. There we go. So. I'm having one of those days. I feel like I'm forgetting like absolutely everything for some. I don't know why. So let's go ahead and I think I want to do kind of want to do a green base. Actually, I think I'm going to do this vibrant, like really vibrant or green jungle base. Let's see if this acrylic needs some love. Maybe. My vortex mixer. It might need some love. We'll see. Might need some love. That's one thing I did forget. I forgot to move my mixer over here. Give this acrylic a little shake. So hopefully everybody's had a good week. I've had a pretty good one. I can't complain. Excited to be painting. I had a very fun week. I did a lot of different um, time slots this week trying it out. And oh, hey Raina. I feel like I just left you. Hi guys. I didn't think you were gonna be ending this soon. It is time to watch minis be painted. Except today I'm mainly just doing basing, but since really funny, since you had show and tell on your stream, I actually, in the hopes that you were showing up, I went and got something to do show and tell with you. And we were talking about tanks, and you're talking about people that like to paint the inside of their rhinos. So I went and grabbed one of my old rhinos, or actually the repressor, which is the old Forge World repressor from one of my display cabinets, to show you that not only did I paint the inside of my rhino, I made sure the doors worked. So because I like the idea of when I deployed, I like opened up the doors. So yeah, I made sure like the doors worked on mine so they could close and let go. And because you were talking about people that like to torture themselves, you can see if the camera shows it. I actually painted the inside of the rhino, and yeah, the display in the back does actually have tilt it. Here we go. There we go. It's like, yeah. I have a flashlight. There we go. I have a flashlight. So you can see maybe too bright. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I'm one of those guys. I have to paint the inside of my rhinos. it was I painted it and then masked it off and then glued the top on it and then glued the top shell on it and then painted the rest of it. But yes, I had to carry on with Raina's show and tell and show one of my tanks. Even though her tanks were absolutely amazing. I love that red that you used. I was very impressed with that red. Absolutely love the red you're in. Yeah. Yes, when you have a camera and your hands are here, you just want to show off everything that's in your studio. And that's what I want to do. It's like Desiree, every time you come into the chat, I'm like, here, look at this, look at this. But yes, we are doing a I'm doing the bases on my this is I wasn't able to kit bash mine sadly because this is a commission work. I really wanted to kit bash some of these. But I'm doing the base work on these and I want to do like a green and brownish bog. Um yeah, my I just see the sad thing is I just clean my paint water. My paint water is kind of well, not that clean, but I just clean mine. But yeah, I'm doing I want to do like a brownish bog under here and I did the cork rocks as well because I had like all this extra cork and I squeezed and like broke it apart and I actually with these bases I got to use something new that one of my followers sent me. This stuff is amazing. This AK terrain this is an acrylic paint but it's a texture paint and that's how you end up getting all this texture is this like I said, this is cork and just glued the cork on and just um slapped on the texture paint. Oh, hey Phantom Cobalt, thanks a lot for the follow. Awesome. Appreciate it. I think you're number 60. And you're the 60th follower. That's really great, man. Thank you. So, some of these acrylics that I use are kind of old, and I think they need a little bit of love. So I'm hoping this one doesn't need that much love. Um, maybe a little bit. Very vibrant. Yeah. I never really used the texture paint before. That was a first, and someone sent it to me, and I fell in love as soon as I used it. It was great. Uh, and mixing. Oh, I really like that green. I think I've used this green before. I am painting and I'm going to bastardize the name of it. I'm painting a Novatites, or finishing up a Novolite, Novatites, Novolite, um, Sister Kill Team Commission. So I'm painting the bases tonight. The entire squad is finished. That's a Sister Superior. The entire squad is finished. I just need to decorate the bases, and I figured I would do that tonight. and then I start my next commission. After that, and I think I'm not going to select get any commissions because I think after that I want to paint something for myself because I haven't painted anything for myself in a long time, and I think I'm dying to do an anime resin kit because I have a bunch of these anime resin kits like just sitting on a shelf, and I just really want to get some of those painted, which I'm thinking about putting up on social media and asking people like which one I should paint next, which I think would be because I have quite a bit. But yeah, these bases are not going to stay this green. This is just going to be a base, base for the base. But also, I'm so bad at this, and I'm gonna try to keep myself honest and try to start doing this more often. But I'm giving Raina a shout out. Hope I do this right. Do I do it? Hey, I did it right. Awesome. Thank you for rating me. It's always a pleasure to be rated by a knight. I think Reyna, even though she's a paladin, she's like the little devil on my shoulder sometimes because she's the one that's like, yeah, yeah, but buy Oblivion remastered. You should play it, and I have to stop myself and like actually start like saying, nope, nope, you can't play Oblivion tonight. You've got to paint. Fugan. Okay, I have to look this up. Who is Fugan? I know the name. Okay, looking at the model, yes, yes, you should. That is a pretty model. That's a long what? That is a long sword too. How far is By the way, I'm 3D printing a Tyranid, so yeah, awesome. I am getting I want a 3D printer for the channel. I really do because I want to start like 3D printing stuff and painting it and using it as giveaways. Um, your escalation league, Reina, how what points are you guys going to? Like how high? Mm. I mean, what do you have? I mean, what do you have to have? Do you just three colors on a model? Oh, you mean your yellow diamonds? Oh, thanks for stopping by, Phantom Cobalt. He's the easiest color to paint. You're the one that reminded me about the pink trick, I think, where they said like put down a layer of pink before your yellows. It's supposed to help. I need to try that out. Yeah, it was really funny because like I posted these images and someone of this mall of these minis and someone's like, "Man, you need to turn up your contrast." And I was like, I can't. The person that commissioned it wanted a grim dark aesthetic, so they didn't want to light up bright colors. And so I can't wait to paint my next commission, which is a bunch of fairies for Moonstone, because I plan on doing a lot of bright, vibrant colors, and I'm probably going to be painting some yellow. Oh, I'm going to be airbrushing yellow. Because the fairies in Moonstone have butterfly like wings, which I'm very excited about painting. I think that's going it's really nerve wracking basing after you paint the model, but I do it to myself. Because you get all your shading and everything done, and then you want to do this like bright green, and you're just one slip away from it. Yeah, Grimdark's weird. I mean, I do like it. It fits into my style. I do like the grainy dark and like the realistic of just the dark tones and everything like that. I do enjoy it. But yeah, that's what the client wanted, and I have no problem painting it for him. He is as a payment, he is printing me off a Trench Crusade squad that I will be painting on stream that I'm very excited about. This is how you do it. A lot of dark colors. And then you hit everything with a dark wash. Um New Antioch. That's the one I backed. I fell in love with the World War I style knights. I thought it was great. That's one reason I'm wanting a 3D printer is so I can start printing off more Trench Crusade stuff and painting it on stream. I actually really want to do a I want to do a VTuber model series where I find like a 3D mini that's close to the VTuber and kit bash it into a VTuber. I've seen some like I know there's some Iron Mouse kits out there, but like I've seen a few that I'm like, oh, just a few tweaks and this could be this VTuber, and a few tweaks this could be this VTuber. I think it'd be. Somewhere sometime down the line I've got set aside time to paint my mini of myself. You can consider them bright and cartoony, but I do really dig that red you use. So that's the shade. I think we had that talk that Citadel does some shades like really really well. Like I follow a bunch of Japanese miniature artists, and there was this one that was using this pink. I wrote the name down in a notebook, but this pink contrast paint to paint entrails on a Nurgle figure, and I just loved the pink. I just absolutely loved it. I loved the way it looked, and I had to write down what he was using. But yeah, it was a Citadel brand. Why are you already drying out? I just put you on. I swear to. It's paper, yo. Yeah, I think I'm picking up parchment paper tomorrow. I think this might be the last night I use this paper. Yeah, I'm really digging it. I wanna do this, and I'm gonna dry brush a brown over it. The rocks I'll just do this, but I want to dry brush a darker brown over it, and then I'm gonna hit it with a contrast paint. If I really wanted to, I got sent these AK neon effects paints. They're ridiculous. They remind me of the Easter egg colors. This is the fluorescent green. I used them the other day trying to do a plasma coil, but they're they're ridiculously vibrant. Of course, they're supposed to be neon, but what kind of bluish? Yeah, I can see that. I know it's got a blue in the series. Like, I'll put the whole series on the table. Pulling it out of the paint drawer. But like, yeah, the whole neon series is ridiculous. I was like, it's Easter egg colors. Like, yeah, you're supposed to be able to do like neon signs and stuff like that, which I thought would be great. It's like Of course, the first thing I thought of when I saw it was lightsaber colors, um, which makes me want to paint Star Wars models. Yeah, it was great. It's always a pleasure, Raina. You go take care of what you need to take care of. Now that you got your camera set up, we need to do paint together more. Oh yeah, and you can knock on mine. Night, Raina. Everybody else that's here, is anybody working on anything fun tonight? I know, Mr. North, you said earlier in Rena's chat you were working on dishes. That's always fun. Conquest Order of the Shield. What is that? Not familiar. Ah. So did I hear Reina correctly earlier? And you're playing the? Are you doing the new Star Wars minigame, the one by Fantasy Flight? Legion, yeah, that's the one I was interested in. But I've got a love hate relationship with Fantasy. Like I love some of their games, but man, they I don't like some of their business practices. Like they release a Star Wars role playing game and they make it where you can't use regular like standard role playing dice. You have to buy their dice. I was like, really? Now I do have buddy of mine lived in Minnesota, and when they've got a headquarters like flag store up there, and they were doing a going out of business or like I think it was going out of print sell. He picked me up an entire series of role playing books from Fantasy Flight. I still have them. They're amazing, and all of them are different. The way the system works, it's different versions of the end of the world that you play through, and the system is designed where you make yourself, and like One book is different, religious ideas on the end of the world. Like one is like the rapture, Ragnarok, all this, and you're playing yourself through the end of the world. And then one book is all different alien encounters, and one book is different plagues, including zombies and all this other stuff. And I've never actually gotten to play them, but I have them, and one day I will be playing them. They sound incredibly fun. The one stray drop of red looks like it bled on my palate. I do like this green. I don't think I use this green more. But yeah, I'm digging this green. I had a lot of fun with these bases. I had a lot of extra Age of Sigmar sprues. I don't even know where they came from. I just had them in a drawer, and a bunch of skeleton pieces. So I just cut them up and placed them underneath the sisters on some of the bases to make it look like they're running a field through a field of dead, which was that's pretty fun. I think that was the most kit bashing I was able to do with this. I do like my fair share of kit bashing model, personalizing them, making something no one else has. I do enjoy that. Getting through these base coating these bases pretty fast, and then we'll start over at the front of the line with some dry brushing of brown. So I should be making affiliate soon. I wouldn't be surprised if after this stream I don't make affiliate, but I'm struggling. Maybe chat can help me with this. I'm struggling with channel redeems or ideas for channel redeems when it comes to my channel. I did have because of my two accidents here recently of licking my brush on stream. I have had someone suggest I have a redeem of a high point. It's going to be a high point redeem, if anything, that I would intentionally lick my brush on stream and critique the taste of the paint. Don't know how I feel about that one. Well, actually, I do know how I feel about that. Don't know if I want to do that one. It would have to be a really high point cost, channel point cost for that. What, Mr. North? What? What would it taste like on that note? Bye. All right, you have a good night, Mr. North. I will say that I've accidentally well, let me explain this a little bit. So, when you become a miniature painter, having a detail point on your brush is very important. And some experienced miniature painters get to the point where when their brush is clean, they stick it in their mouth and they roll it on their tongue to get the point back. And usually, it's a clean brush when you do it, but sometimes you forget if there's paint on the brush and you stick your brush in your mouth, and the next thing you know is you're basically running a paint covered brush along your tongue and you taste acrylic. That has happened to me twice on stream. Both clipped and put into my about me section. One was with a copper acrylic, which tasted horrible. And the most recent one was with a blue ghost tint, which not only dyed my tongue blue, but absolutely tasted horrible. Worse than the copper. I mean, neither of them were enjoyable. The ghost tint was really not enjoyable. But such is the such is the sacrifice we make for this hobby. We lick brushes sometimes. It's two more to go. Using a lot of this green. I like it though. I think I want to paint a Tyranid just to get some I want to paint some really vibrant like colored Tyranids. I used to play a Nid player all the time. Back when I would travel to a local comic book shop and I played my sisters. This is back in fifth edition Warhammer. Long time ago. I had this guy at my local shop named Randall, really nice guy. He was a Nid player, and we would play all the time. I remember one particular match. I spanked him hard. I did. In the dice were not in his favor. That was his only problem. The dice really was not in his favor that day, and so uh, he he was toying around with the idea of doing Dark Eldar at the time, And after that match, he literally walked over to a friend of ours and said, "Hey, I'm going to sell you my entire Tyranid army." And then turn around and use the money to buy Dark Eldar. And I was like, "Really? Did I just beat you out of your army?" I'm like, I feel so bad. They ended up making Dark Eldar, and I think he had more fun with that. I'm planning a stream here soon. Definitely one in June when a buddy of mine is more free because he's currently writing a book for Infinity, which is a miniature game. Once he's done with his due date for his book, he said he wants to do a stream where he teaches me how to play Trench Crusade, which I'm looking forward. I think that should be very exciting. And I have another buddy of mine who said he wants to do a stream similar to that where he's going to teach me how to play the new edition of Warhammer. Since I have not played, I think they're in the 10th edition now, which I have not played. I would love to start playing more tabletop games on stream with other VTubers. I think that would be really fun. I think that would be great actually. I would very much enjoy. Trying to think about stuff to yap about. Recently saw Andor. Um, was blown away. I know a lot of people have different opinions about Star Wars nowadays, but I am a huge Star Wars fanatic. That is like one of the biggest nerding things I've got is how much I love Star Wars. And I love Andor. I love the new take. Um the how would I say, the realistic um the Star Wars world has always felt lived in to me. Like it's a galaxy that actually feels like it's lived in. And I know that's the point. It's supposed to feel lived in. But it's the dirty future as George Lucas liked to call it. But Andor, man, Andor season 1, especially Andor season 2, it really hammers it home that, man, this is a galaxy where people live. Like, um yeah, there's the Force and there's a Jedi, there's everything, but that's not all of it. There's a lot more to it, and I really enjoyed that. So highly recommend Andor season. Very, very, very good. I think I want to do this Monster Brown. Nice. Nice dark brown contrasting with this white. So we're just going to do a quick dry brush over this white. Quick and dirty. That's how she likes it. It doesn't want to mix. Okay, well, Vortex Mixer it is. I do apologize about the Vortex Mixer. It does like to set off my mic. But the Vortex Mixer is one of the greatest things. If you do acrylic paints, especially these bottle paints, and it does work well with Citadel as well. But any of the contrast paints, because the contrast paints require a lot of mixing, because that pigmentation likes to separate within the fluid. Vortex mixers are amazing when it comes to that. And I didn't want one at first because like I don't need that. I can just shake it up. Yeah, it takes a lot more shaking than you think it does. Your arm gets tired, but this vortex mixer, see that brown's already working out. We're gonna mix that up a little bit. You're not gonna add any medium to it or anything because we're gonna be dry brushing. Get the consistency I want for dry brushing. My mixing brush. All right, I got these great little. Let's see, I use this one. Great little dry brushes from Boyakin, whatever they are. Found them online, pretty good for the price. I hate it. Um, and we're going to pull out the dry brush palette. Dry brush palette is a new thing I've been playing around with. I kind of really enjoy it. It takes a lot. It takes the moist, well, not the moisture, but it you can test how you want your dry brushing to look and adjust as you go. That way, you're not putting it on your model. So, just going to dry brush a little bit over the green desired effect. Trying to stay away from them. Give it a little bit of a light. But much like a wet palette, you can make a dry brush palette at home. All you got to do is if you have like a bunch of sprues with like extra bits and pieces that you don't are ever going to use, glue it onto a piece of plastic, something shallow, and prime it. And boom, you're gonna have a homemade dry brush palette. But yeah, all it does, it allows you to get the paint off but maintain the moisture so you get a smoother dry brushing. And I actually, if you're worried about the priming of it, I actually have a video on my YouTube, a short, of me priming this very dry brush palette and getting it ready to be used. Just staying away from the model as much as possible. But if you accidentally hit the foot or anything like that, I wouldn't worry too much about it because it's just going to help bring in the contrast and the blending with the scene because it just means she got mud on her boots. Hmm. Definitely going to hit it with a darker brown after that. which I happen to have because I had a feeling that was going to happen. But I will reduce the size of the brush so I don't cover that much area. Just go more random natural look. Before I do that dark brown, I think I'm going to go through and paint all the stone. That could be good. You know, I can. There's certain bands they have a style to them, and I didn't even have to look at them. I was like, "Yep, that's a yellow." I do like me some. Very much a feel good band. Dry brushing done. Mm. Making some of these a little. I'm gonna paint a little wetter as I put it on here, just to give a more muddy look. Yeah, that's Very nice. Oh, a little too much brown, but that's fine. Didn't get enough of this off. But usually when that happens, it's just going to be a muddier area. Luckily, it would happen by the rocks. So I'm more just mistakes lead to randomness, and randomness leads to more natural look. So I do like this brown because once it's wet and you start dry brushing it, it really looks like mud. I've used this on bases before. It's the Monster Brown from Army Painter, which I do love me some Army Painter paints. They are. I am not sponsored by them, so I will say that I'm not sponsored by Army Painter. They are just my preferred brand. Big fan, which was really funny. When I was helping Raina set up last night, she sent me a picture of her setup, and I saw her Army Painter um, wet palette like I've got, and I was like, paint siblings. We got the same wet palette. I do enjoy their wet palette. Now, if you want to try a wet palette, which I highly suggest, like wet palettes are great, especially if you're working with acrylics. Um, Wet palettes, the only thing they do is they keep your paints wet longer, so they're easier to work with, and you're not wasting a bunch of paint. But you don't have to go out and buy an expensive wet palette. What you can do is you can honestly make your own. How you make your own is just go get a good sponge from your local store, whatever, grocery store, whatever. Um, you can put paper towels on it, but preferably you want to use a paper that's not going to fall apart when wet. So, and something that doesn't have a waxy coat. So you don't want to use wax paper, but parchment paper is amazing, and you can get those in. You can get that in the baking section of most grocery stores because parchment paper is used in baking. And you cut your sheets that'll fit right inside your wet palette, and you just lay it over your sponges that are in the wet palette. But that's what you do. Is if you want to make your own, you get a sponge, set it inside a Tupperware dish, like a shallow one. You put your sponge down in there, and you cut your a sheet of parchment paper to lay on top. And you just want it damp. You don't want it saturated. Yeah, that's a good way to make your own. And there's videos on how to make your own. Okay, so before I do that, I want to separated the runic gray, ashen stone, graveyard gray, grave lord gray, ash gray, pallid. Yeah, grave lord. We're gonna use this contrast paint. Oh, we're talking about ASMR. Rattle can ASMR. There we go. Contrast paints. I'm still playing around with them, but um, a lot of people say don't use the wet palette because contrast paints are more diluted anyway for to do the job that they're supposed to do. And so putting it on a wet palette just makes it even more diluted. So they highly suggest they're like don't use it. Don't put it on a wet. I've got a dry palette, one of these, which this comes with the Army Painter contrast paint set, which is fine. I also bought one, which here I bought one off of Amazon, which is actually really nice one. I should use it more often. But it's closable, got a tray and everything. This really good, and you can get this from like your local hobby store. But like if you're using contrast paints like that, but all this is a watercolor palette. This is a contrast paint. I'm just using a darker one that's going to set in the recesses for some of the stone work. We're going to go back and dry brush over it. This is going to be the start of the stone here. For those deep rock and stone brothers. Love that game. Played the hell out of that. I played a driller. Like that was like one of my favorite classes to play. Still to this day, one of my classes to play. Very fun. They've got a new game coming out done by Coffee Press, which is the company that releases that game. And I think it's going to be like an extraction shooter. I'm not 100% sure, but it looked really good. We saw. It's really weird. Like the soundtrack that we're listening to is the best of the 80s, but I've been listening to the best of the 70s, and this song is all over there too. So what is it, guys? Is it the best of the 80s or best of the 70s? Make up your mind. Uh, because of the song, I wonder how many hotels in California are called the hotel. Home device. Is like I want to yap more about Star Wars and Andor, but it's so new. I know I'm going to ruin it for somebody, but I'm not. I really want to. But yeah, Star Wars is one of those things I can just yap about, yap, 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 yap. Love me some Star Wars. Finger slipped a little bit, but that's okay. It happens. Dry. Painting rocks. Going painting rocks. Like, I bought you a rock. So what'd you get, Charlie Brown, for Halloween? I got a rock. I'm already liking the contrast. Oh, it's contrast paint. He said the word. I'm already liking the contrast between the dark rock and the vibrant ground. As we do a little bit more dry brushing and shading and whatnot, that will start blending. Oh, it's a little bit of the police. Everything she does is magic. Now I got it set up to where this music is not recorded into the VODs because I don't want to get a copyright strike. So whoever comes back and watches this after I'm done, past streams, they're not going to hear this music. They'll see the identified song down at the bottom, but I'm thinking about also. I think there's a way. I'm not technically I think there's a way of syncing up Spotify's. I thought about doing that as well, to where I just play my Spotify, like, provide a link so someone can sync up with it. Ooh, that was a sniffle. Nose is running. All right, let's see. Where did we start? Uh, Working my way back, because the first working in batches like this is so easy because you just work down the line, work back down the line, work down the line. So, are you ready? You might be. What we're gonna do here is pull out the good old dry brush again. Except we're not gonna use this one. We're gonna go for a smaller one. I think I need to put, yeah. I think I'm gonna break down. I do have a throne. I don't use it that often. I don't post it that often either. But I think I need another set of dry brushes. That fits right on top. Isn't that neat? Oh yeah, you need a lot of love. You are you are a nasty bottle, you. So while we're sitting here and mixing, I'm gonna do a mixing ad. I haven't done one of these in a while. So I am partnered with Board Game Boss, the non-stop shop for everything tabletop. The first time I've said that correctly, and he's not listening. Um, if you follow my About Me section, there is a link for Board Game Boss down there. You just click on the logo for Board Game Boss. When you do, it'll take you to their website. You sign up for their newsletter, and you will get 15% off your first purchase at Board Game Boss. And they do. They have a lot of fantastic minis. They have board game accessories, D&D stuff. They have like a lot of dice towers and crap like that. Um, they also he works with a 3D printer and he does a lot of stuff in house. They just recently made a mini of me that could possibly be up soon, maybe. We're in the process of turning it into a paintbrush holder, which was something that the people in chat were talking about. Here, I'll grab the prototype because he sent me the prototype. You see, look, you little guy. Got a mace, face only a mother could love. But yeah, I'll be cleaning him up a little, painting him on stream eventually. Little owl. But I'm not gonna lie. The fact that I've got a mini of myself, being a mini artist, that's pretty slick and pretty awesome. Pretty proud of that. That's that dark brown I was talking about that we're gonna play around with. We're gonna get a little bit more refined, and I've got a smaller dry brush for the dry brushing, and this one's gonna go on a little bit more wet. Um, so I'm gonna cover up the green and the stone, trying to blend everything together. And I'm running smaller because I want a smaller coverage, but I'm gonna cover more of the area. Yeah, it sounds weird, but trust me, I'm an expert. No way an expert. I'm just a guy that likes to paint minis. The only reason I'm relatively good at it is sheer stubbornness of will. But a lot of this is like me knocking the dust off because I honestly haven't painted in a long time up until I started to stream back up. So it's me rekindling my love for the hobby. I guess you could say that. And I do love the hobby. I do love the paint. There we go. Working our way back down the line. Feel like I'm in a painting assembly line. Back down, up, down, back down, up, down. Yeah, I find myself getting a little bit more sloppy the darker I go with these browns because even if I get it on the mall with these darker browns, if they're going to be in a muddy environment, they're going to have mud on them. So it's easy to pass it off as, oh, you got brown on this. Oh, well, tripped in the mud or stepped in the mud, something with the mud. I will be happy. I enjoyed this commission. This was a commission, the first commission I had on stream. I was hired to do this right when I started stream. Very excited to get. I know client excited to get it too. Let's talk to him today about. I know he's one of the ones that's been. He is very busy, has a large family, so he hasn't been able to watch a lot of my streams. But he has gone back and watched at work and saw his kill team put together and saw his kill team get. But no matter what, this will be the last you see these sisters on these streams, whether I finish the basing or not. If I do not finish the basing on this stream, I will finish it. I promise that once the sisters are completely done, they will be put up on social media in a group. So, best way to see the finished product is to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, or Blue Sky. Links are in the bio. Well, not the bio, in the About Me section. I am active on all. If I have to be honest, I'm more active on Twitter than I am the others. Something I'm trying to fix. I'm trying to be more active on Sky. I do prefer Blue Sky. It's just I do have a bigger following on Twitter, so I find myself interacting there a lot more. To be honest. So we're gonna do very light gray dry brushing. And we're just gonna hit the stones with this. Or the tops of the stones. I'm gonna try to stay off the bony the pieces too. Just gonna hit the tops of the stones with this gray. Try to stay off the greens. What'd you do tonight? Oh, painted a bunch of rocks. Painting rocks. Or dry dusting. Dusting rocks. All right, so before I get into the next one, oh, it is an hour and 30 minutes into the stream, which means we're about halfway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take me a little bitty break, and then I will be right back here. I suggest all of you do the same. Get up, stretch, drink some water, do something, hydrate, and come back here and finish up your projects with me. I'll be right back. You guys don't go anywhere. Ooh. All right, welcome back. It was a short break. All right, so we are coming down to I'm gonna hit it with a contrast paint. Looking forward to it. I'm gonna hit it with a dark green, I think. Dark green contrast paint. Pulled one out earlier. Military. Oh, that's my shaders. Let's see. Ooh, brownish decay. That's pretty. Oh, desolate brown. It's kind of a brownish green. Let's see. Burnt moss. Pork skin, algae green. Ooh, thinking thinking burnt moss or oof. Man, this is tough. I kind of want to see what burnt. Gonna make sure mix this one up real well. Especially if it's one that I haven't used before, definitely gonna mix it up very well. Okay. Contrast paint in there. So, let's see. What to use. I'm gonna do with that one. That's the. There we go. That's what I'm using. Fuel. Actually, no. You will not. Will not work. Something. Let's see. Brushes, brushes, brushes. It work. All right. All right, so bringing all this together a little bit, we're gonna do a little bit after this. Dark algae, bringing in the browns, green, something different. Sorry, I'm quiet. I'm just concentrating with a very, very thick, heavily pigmented contrast paint near all this red, sisters. Get up on the edges. Rock. Hey, go back to the Came out a little darker than I wanted it to, but that's okay because I've got a plan. First, we're gonna hit some of these skulls with this bony matter real quick. Which ones have skulls on them? But doesn't. This one has one. All right. We did the junk green. Don't need these blues. I'm starting to move out of the way. Solid bone. This. Good honey. Need all these flesh tones or the orange. Maybe this one. Shades. Candy. Reds. Ghost tints. Rear skin. Dark wood. Don't need that. Don't need any more dark. Grim black. Don't need that. Silver broadsword. Don't need any of them. That. I have all of these just lined up from where I've been working on. Can't wait to put them back. Have a clean table. Copper. See the white. Cool. It Aztec gold. Mm. Hmm. I think there's a rest to that, so going with something else. Hmm. All right, let's see if that works. Better. Better. There it is. Good old fashioned olive green. All right, so I know last hour was quiet, but concentrating, also fading a little. I got 4 Sister Nova lights left. Then it's a clear coat, couple little sprigs and bushes to glue down, and these girls will be done. So I will not be painting these anymore on stream. These are the last you'll see of these little girls. And the next time I paint, I'll be probably putting together my next commission, the Moonstone Commission, which should be very, very fun. So, close up shop, shut down the studio for now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue this party going forward. And we are going to find someone to raid. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate all you did. Appreciate Raina raiding me earlier. That means a lot. And all of you that stayed with me tonight, that means a lot too. So let's find somebody real quick. I always go for a model builder real quick. Hopefully we'll find somebody. VTuber that's a model builder. There's somebody airbrushing. Let's see. All right, so I think I found somebody. Somebody new. None of my good friends are on. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight, and I will catch you later on. Stay tuned to my socials for upcoming schedule. We'll find out when I'm going to be on next week. All right, love you guys, and as I say, dare to suck, just paint. Catch you guys later.